Hello and welcome to the Pursuit Podcast. I'm your host, Shayna Recker, and today I am actually doing a masterclass for you guys. This is a masterclass that I have been promoting for the last few weeks called Ready. And it is such a powerful topic that I wanted to make this not just for those who signed up for this free masterclass. I wanted to make this available to everyone because I do believe that what I'm about to share with you in this version of this masterclass is really powerful, and it's really going to help people decide if starting an online business is the right move for them, if they are really ready. Because I think what happens is when we get the idea to start the business, we get really excited about the potential of making money and creating these things and starting to do some of the action items like creating the Instagram and all of this stuff. And that's all great. And that excitement is necessary. And that's all part of the process and it's all good. But there are also other things that we don't often look at when it comes to starting our online businesses, and that we don't think about. We don't go in our head and go, oh, well, this is also going to be this and this and this kind of a journey. And so we don't know about those things because nobody really talks about them. And so we get kind of blindsided by them as we go through this journey. And so I want to share some of those things with you because this is a reflection actually of me looking back going, when I wanted to start my business, I had that excitement. I had that okay, I'm going to create these programs and it's going to be great. And I'm going to teach all of these things and it's going to be so much fun. And there's all this stuff. But then there was all of these other things that got layered into this experience that I've had as an entrepreneur. And it's not that I wouldn't have started the business had I known, but I may have made different decisions about my business if I hadn't known these things. And that's really why I want to share this. I'm not trying to convince you to either not start or start. I want you to be aware of the different types of things you're going to encounter as you start your entrepreneurial journey. However, I do want you to be aware of those things, and I want you to be able to work through some of these things sooner than I did. And I'll share my stories and stuff as we go. And with this being said, I do support new coaches. This is one of the main areas of my coaching is to help new coaches, start their businesses and learn all the ins and outs of what it takes to really, build a coaching or service-based business, an online business. And because I know what it's like, and I've done all of the things, and I've invested, over $70,000 in coaching. I say that because I'm Canadian. So really when you do the conversion, it's like over $100,000 I've invested in my coaching education and working with mentors. I've learned a lot through my time so far in building my business. I've had multiple six-figure years, in that journey, but I've also had some really hard things that I've had to go through and grow through. And there's seasons in your business for sure. And so this is why I have such a spot for new coaches, and why I create programs to help new coaches, because I know how kind of all over the place emotionally it can be. And also how many things you've got to learn in order to, be successful online. And so there are a lot of coaches that support coaches in scaling their businesses and, going from, a single program to group programs and multiple programs and evergreen programs and all the things. But I don't see a lot of startup coaches. And that's what I've created with the Client Attractor. It's basically a startup program for new online coaches and entrepreneurs and service-based entrepreneurs who want to use social media as their main channel for building their business. So with that being said, I do have the enrollment open for the Client Attractor right now. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this podcast, but just know I have that and a couple other things going on right now in my world, which I will share more at the end of this podcast. But I want you to know that that is available for you in case you don't make it to the end. And also because I think it's important to share that. And as we go through, I'll share a little bit more potentially about the program, but definitely at the end, let's dive into what I have available available to help support you on your journey as a new coach or service-based provider. So the first thing that I'm going to share when it comes to how to know if you're ready, and I think I have 5 or 6 different things here that I'm going to share with you, how to know if you're ready to be your own boss, to be an entrepreneur, to start the business, using especially social media. The first thing I'm going to share with you is really the only thing you really need to have in order to know that you're ready. The other things you can work through, even if they feel, when I share them and they feel a little bit like, I don't know if I can do that. When you start going down the path, just know that you do have everything it takes inside of you to work through all the things that I'm going to share with you. This first one is probably the only thing that if it's not there, then you may want to question your decision. And so the first one is how to know if you're ready. Do you have this burning desire to want to help people and start this business? So much so that even though there's all these fears and doubts that you're in, like it doesn't matter the fears, even though they are scary and they may be kind of feeling like they're holding you back a little bit, the desire to actually do it is so much stronger that it feels like it's pulling you. Like you can't stop thinking about it. You keep noticing other coaches who are doing something similar. You keep thinking of ideas. Like it literally won't leave your body. Like you just cannot stop thinking about it. That's really how you know you're ready. Because I believe you wouldn't have received the idea to start the business if you weren't capable of actually executing it. Now, where this doesn't work is if you've got the idea to start the business and it's only because you feel like it's a good money-making idea. Like maybe you see another coach who's doing really well in business coaching and she's making bazillions of dollars every month and you go, I want to be a business coach because I want to make the money like her, but you actually don't have a desire or a strong passion to do business coaching. You just chose that out of the air because you saw somebody else being super successful at it. That's an example where I would say, maybe you should question that. Maybe this isn't the right thing for you to do. But when I say the desire needs to be stronger than your fears, I mean like it's like you can't even think, you can't go a day without thinking about it. And you know this is what you want. You have a passion for this. It feels exciting. Like this isn't an idea that someone said, oh, you should do this. And now you're doing it just because somebody else told you to. Or like I said, you saw somebody who was successful and you thought, oh, if she can do it, so can I. It has to be something that you honestly feel called to do. And the reason I say that is because of the other things I'm going to share in this training. There's going to be really hard points. And if your desire isn't strong enough, it won't pull you through. It won't. You'll quit. You'll be like, this is too hard. Forget it. I'm really not into this. I really didn't want to do this in the beginning anyways. It was just an idea someone gave to me. I just saw this other person doing it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm out. So the desire is out of all the things I'm going to share today, even if you only right now just have that really strong desire, I'm going to say you're ready. Start taking the next steps and you'll uncover other things as you go. Now, I know that this is important because when I started my coaching business, I actually started my coaching business from a place of a desire to coach and a desire to create a business where I was helping people. But I had chosen the wrong topic, let's say. Now, I say wrong loosely because I don't believe that there are any mistakes. I believe that things that we choose help lead us to the right things, even if they are the wrong choices. And so I chose to be a network marketing coach because I had experience in network marketing. I had created a big network marketing team. And I was like, well, this is what I should coach because this is what I am, quote unquote, good at. And I made that decision from a place of should, because it seemed logical, but it wasn't from a place of desire and passion. And it wasn't until I built that business that I started to realize that my actual passion was for the business side of the things that I was doing to create my business. I had people asking me about how I was doing it. I had people coming to me saying, oh, I see what you're doing. I'd like to do that too. But in this area, do you have any pointers or tips? And I'd be like, I'd get all giddy and excited and I'd like, blah, 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 and I'd like start talking about all the different things they could do and ideas. And it started flowing out of me. And I had this passion for it. Now, here's what happened is I had built a solid business as a network marketing coach. And now I wanted to switch gears to more of my passion, which was business coaching. And there was a lot of fear around making that change because I had a huge following of network marketers. I had a Facebook group of almost 2,000 network marketers in it. I had built a 3,000 email list, a 3,000 person email list, and they were all network marketers. And I knew by making this shift to speak more about business coaching and coach on actual starting entrepreneurship and business, these people were going to be disappointed. These people were going to be like, they're not going to want to follow me because this isn't why they followed me in the first place. So there was a lot of fear around switching gears and moving into this new space. But the desire to move into this new space was stronger than the fears of letting go of what I had created. And that's how I knew I was ready to make the switch. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop planning for it. I started thinking of different programs. I was like, there was all this stuff. And I made that switch. And yeah, it was hard. There were people who left the group. I actually ended up closing down the Facebook group. There was a lot of people who unsubscribed from the emails and all the things. And even though that was hard, I was okay with it because my desire was stronger than the fear of letting go. So that's how you really know you're ready. Now, number 2, and the rest of these things are things that even if right now you might in your mind go, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. If number 1, you feel in your heart is absolutely where you are, you have that really super strong desire, I want you to know that you can work through the rest of these things. The rest of these things will come in time. You don't need to be completely ready for these things right out of the gate. Okay. So number 2, you are okay with losing friends. Yes, I said losing friends. Now, this may not happen for you, but it absolutely could. You may lose people in your network. And why this happens, and I'm going to share why this happens, is because when you start to do something outside of your comfort zone, when you start to take action on your dreams and you start to create ideas and want to do things that are different from the norm, right? Like maybe you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to start this business and your goal is to quit your 9-to-5 job and be an entrepreneur, and you tell your friends or your family about this goal and this dream, you're acting like a mirror for them. And they look in that mirror and they say, wow, she's really, excited about this. She's making changes. She's getting out of her comfort zone. She's doing something powerful and exciting. I'm not willing to do that. So now I feel threatened. Now I feel scared. Now I feel like I'm going to be left behind. So you act as a mirror to others when you start to do things out of your comfort zone. And if they're not willing to do the same sort of things, they can start to feel like you're leaving them behind. And that scares people. And so what'll happen is you'll find people coming to you saying, oh, do you really think that's a good idea? Do you really oh, that's kind of risky. I don't know. You're going to leave your job. Like when I quit my full-time job to move into entrepreneurship, oh my gosh, it was like everybody thought I was losing my mind. Everybody thought that I was crazy for giving up my benefits and what was I doing? And there was all of this stuff. And I knew what I was doing. I was creating something bigger and better for my life. And even though it was scary and even though it was, there was a lot of risk there, I knew it was the right thing for me. And I was being that reflection for other people who maybe weren't happy in their careers and wanted to do something different, but didn't have the courage to take the action, right? So you may lose people. People may withdraw. People may think, say things that you don't agree with, and it may create some issues in relationships. But that can be part of your journey, and you need to be okay with that. A lot of times those relationships will repair themselves because you're going to show them that, or maybe you inspire them so much that they actually decide to make a change in their life too, right? That's happened to me as well. So there's a lot of that can happen in your business, and your job is to stay focused on your desire and your dream. You're not here to make other people happy. You're not here to change other people's lives. You're here to change your life. I mean, yes, your services will definitely change other people's lives in coaching, but what I'm saying is you're not here to make other people happy with your choices. Your choices are for you. So this may be a difficult phase as you move into entrepreneurship, but don't worry. It doesn't last for me. What I discovered, it didn't last. There was a lot of that in the beginning. I had a lot of my, because I had a network marketing business before I moved into coaching. I had a lot of network marketers saying like, what are you doing? You've got a successful network marketing business. Why would you start coaching? That's really scary. Your network marketing business is going to suffer, blah, 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 blah. It didn't matter. My desire to start was so strong that none of that mattered. And I just kept my blinders on. And so I encourage you to do the same. And if you're okay with that, then you're well on your way. Now, number 3 is a big one, and it's absolutely necessary. You can try and build your business for free. You can, but at some point you are going to have to invest in yourself and your business, even when you don't have the money, even when you don't have the funds to do it. You are going to have to start investing into your business. Now, there are a lot of great free resources. There's a lot of great things you can tap into. There's a lot of free masterclasses like this one. There's, a lot of different programs and software things that some of them are completely free. Some of them you can use for free for X amount of days or time period. But at some point, you are going to have to invest and pay to have your business. And that's just part of being an entrepreneur. You're going to have to hire a coach. And I say that solidly, because hiring somebody who's done what you want to create helps you avoid major pitfalls. It shortens the time for you to find success. It helps you get to where you want to go quicker, because let me tell you, there's a lot of lessons you're going to learn as you go through this business, and having somebody who's been there, done that, to say, hey, listen, I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it this way because I've done it that way before and it didn't work because of X, Y, and Z. And this is what's really working right now. Or I've invested a lot of time and energy into understanding how this stuff works. And so I'm going to show you how to get there quicker because I've already put in the time and the money. So by you paying me, I'm going to save you tons of time, which time is money, and I'm going to help you get there faster. You're going to get a return on that investment. And it's going to come a lot faster in your business. My first coach was $3,000 US when I didn't have any money to invest in a coach. I actually had to borrow my mom's credit card to pay for this coach. But that coach led me to build a huge following at the time on Facebook. And so when I sold my first course, I easily made the money back that it cost for me to hire him. Had I not done that, I don't even know where I would be right now. I'd probably be still floundering around trying to figure shit out. And it was the best investment I ever made. My second coach was $10,000 US. I only had the first payment out of the 6 payments that I had to give her. And in that first few weeks of working with her, she taught me about doing group coaching programs. I made $10,000 within that first 4 or 5 weeks of working with her because I launched a group coaching program. I sold it it was just over $1,000. I had 9 women sign up and I had made $10,000. Again, she taught me how to do that in a matter of weeks. Trying to figure all of that out on my own would have taken me, I don't even know how long. I'm going to say a year, but it could have been even more, right? Trying to figure all of the nuances and the ins and outs of doing that would have taken me so much more. So much longer. And so that's why hiring somebody like myself to teach you, how do you start a business? How do you figure out who your clients are? How do you figure out what your program should be? How do you even create a program? How do you market yourself on social media? How do you build a following? All of that stuff is inside the Client Attractor. That's my program for new coaches. I have laid out all the steps for you that have worked for me inside of that program. And that's why I created it, because I want new coaches to get to where they want to go faster. I want them to find their first paying client within their first 90 days of starting their business. And if it wasn't for the coaches that I had hired, I probably wouldn't, I don't even know when I would have actually found my first client. I was definitely floundering around there before I finally hired someone. So you are going to have to invest in yourself and your business. When I say yourself, that's personal development, because we're going to get into that here in a second. And you're going to have to invest into your business, which is software, which is going to be, potentially photo shoots. You have to have things like Stripe and PayPal, and those things cost money. Like there's different things you're going to have for your business that are going to have a cost to it, but that's the cost of doing business. That's something you just have to come into as an entrepreneur and go, I know this is going to cost money, but spending money to make money is the point here. You're spending money to build the foundation so that you can bring in the money. And trust me, the return on investment for what you invest can be 10, 20, 50x, what you actually invest if you spend the time and you do it right. All right. So number four, you're ready to start your online business when you can say to yourself, I'm okay if I fail. I'm okay if I fail. I will be okay if this doesn't work out. I will be okay if I do something and I don't get the response that I want. Because you are going to have times where no one signs up for things, even for free stuff. You're going to have programs that don't sell. You're going to have people who say they want to work with you and then you never hear from them again. You're going to have people who default on their payments. You're going to have people who want their money back, who sign up and say, this isn't for me. This isn't working. I want my money back. You're going to have to be okay with things not working out and keep going. You have to be okay with, I say failure in quotes because I don't believe in failure. I only believe in lessons. Obstacles like these are just opportunities for us to learn. So you have to be okay with the obstacles. You have to be okay to be able to fall on your face and go, well, that didn't work, and get back up and keep going. That's part of the entrepreneurial journey. And this is why investing in personal development and mindset, which is a part of my programs always, because I know how important it is, it's just as important investing into the business programs and strategies and things like that. This is a personal development journey just as much as it is creating an online business. So you have to be okay with things not working out. There are lessons in all of those obstacles that are making you stronger and making you a better business person, a better entrepreneur. I remember one summer I created a whole program, a 6-phase program. It had all the slide decks and all the recordings. I remember spending the summer up in this loft and recording all of these things and creating all of these slides. I launched the program after I had created it all, and no one bought it. No one bought it. And I was mortified. I was like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time and energy on this program and no one wants it. And there was multiple things that were going on there. First, I learned the lesson is you don't create a damn thing until you sell it. You sell it first and then you create it. That was a huge lesson for me in that particular obstacle. I also didn't do any kind of market research. I just thought this is what people wanted. So there's lots of lessons that I learned through that, even though it was so painful and I felt like such a failure. And I was like, oh my gosh, the other lesson I learned in that's when I was still coaching network marketing. That was a huge wake-up call for me that network marketing and teaching network marketing stuff isn't where I meant to serve. That was where the business coaching itch started. It started before that program, actually. And that was kind of, for me, the final straw. I was like, this is it. I realized that this isn't working because my heart isn't in this. I really want to teach this business coaching. I really want to teach people how I created this business. So there were so many invaluable lessons that came from that quote unquote failure. And so you have to be okay with that. And you're ready. You can handle it. If you can say in your mind mentally right now, even though it's going to be painful, I'm okay. I know I'll be okay. I know I'll be able to figure it out. So you have to be okay with the obstacles, with the failure. Number 5, and this is, there's 2 more. Number 5, you have to motivate yourself. You are your own boss. There is nobody over your shoulder. There is nobody going to be telling you what to do. There's nobody who's going to be watching you clock in and clock out. This is your business. You are the boss. There's amazing benefits that come from that. You get to make all the decisions. You get to have the freedom and flexibility of when you work, all of those great things. But you are also the only one who's telling you when you work, how often you work, you're also the one making the decisions as to whether you're going to push through that fear or not. It's you. It's you in your head. There's going to be coaches who are going to be guiding you and teaching you and showing you ways to do things. But at the end of the day, you listen to yourself the most. You're the final thought before you actually go and do something. So if you can't motivate yourself to push through hard times, to keep going through those obstacles, to do the things that make you feel uncomfortable, to stretch yourself out of your comfort zone, to do the work when you don't feel like it, that's going to make it hard for you to build a business. If you know in your heart that you are not self-motivated, that you need people to tell you what to do, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There are lots of people who thrive in corporate because they have their boss and they have their schedule and they have the things, and that's the way they work best. And if you know in your heart that's the way you work and that's the way you thrive, you may find entrepreneurship a little bit difficult because there's nobody telling you what to do. There's nobody telling you you have to show up. You have to be the one to tell yourself to show up. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. Self-coaching is a huge part of being an entrepreneur. And you have to be ready to be your best supporter, to be your best coach, to be the one cheering you on. And again, that's a personal development thing. This is why mindset and personal development is such a huge part of entrepreneurship, because you can really get in your head about shit in your business. And if you don't have the tools and the skills to help you, with the mindset stuff, you can get tripped up and get stuck really easily. Okay. I remember the first time I really pushed myself. This was probably the scariest thing I'd ever done. And I decided that I was going to host a live event. I was a co-author of a book. The books were in, and I was like, I want to do this as a live event, the book launch, but I also wanted to make it like a women's event. And because the book was called Unstoppable. And I was like, let's have some speakers and we'll network and we'll do all these things. And the idea was great. I was like excited about the idea, but then I had to actually execute the idea. And that was a whole new flipping ball game because my mind was so full of fear. I had all the negative self-doubt, all the negative thoughts going in my head. What if no one shows up? What if no one buys tickets? What if I invest all this money into venues and all this stuff and nobody buys? But I knew I needed to do this. I knew I needed the challenge. So I called the venue. I booked the venue. Then I went on social media and I publicly declared that I was hosting a live event, and I gave them the date. And I was like, details are coming soon. And I had to motivate myself to do those things, to push myself out of the comfort zone, to do that live event. And you guys, it was amazing. It was such an awesome event. We had 50 women. We sold out all the spots. It was so much fun. Someday I'm going to get back into doing live events because right after that, the pandemic hit and there were no more live events happening. But that was a powerful story, a time where I had to push myself and motivate myself to do something that was really scary. So that's how I know these things are going to come up for you in your business all the time. So you have to be your biggest cheerleader. All right, the last one is, and this is a big one, but this isn't one you need to sort of worry about right in the beginning, but you do have to accept this as part of knowing you are ready for entrepreneurship. And that is, you have to be willing to change. The person you are right now is going to be different than the person who is running the successful business. You're going to be a completely different person at that point. You're going to be a completely different person as you make the decision to move and start this business. Things are going to start changing very quickly. Change is a must. You are physiologically not the person you are going to be when you have this successful business. Your actual biology will change as you go through this process. You are going to rewire your brain. You're going to be going through things. It's going to change the way you think. It's going to change your beliefs. It's going to change the way you show up. It's going to change your energy. There are so many things that are going to change within you. Your friend groups are going to change. Your frequency is going to change. Your vibration is going to change. Everything will change. You're going to, it's not even a possibility. It's a must. You must change in order to be successful. Because if you were already the person to have the successful business, you would already have it. You would already have it. If you were the person, if you had the physiologically, the thoughts, the beliefs, you would already have the business, but you don't. You're just thinking about it. So if you are willing to change who you are, then all you need to do is say, yes, I'm willing to change, and you're good to go. Because you are going to change through this process. The obstacles change you. The coaches you work with change you. The experiences you have change you. All of these things that you didn't think were possible. There's going to be so many things that are going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And then you do it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Everything is going to change you. And you need to be okay with those changes. You know, the last year and a half, I have done so much inner work. I spent my first 3 or 4 years of my business doing strategy. And then I got stuck in my business. I couldn't make any more money. And I was like, why am I stuck at 100K years? Why am I stuck here? Why can't I grow? And it was because I needed to do the inner work. I had what I had. I had made 100K a year in my network marketing business. So I was making 100K a year in my coaching business. Well, the reason my income wasn't growing was because I was already the person to make 100K when I started my coaching business. But I wasn't the person to make $1 million a year or 100K months when I started my coaching business. That requires me to change. And I'm in that process right now. I was doing the inner work. I had to start looking at my beliefs, the things that scared me, the things that were holding me back, things that happened in childhood, my money mindset, like all of these things that I had to kind of deep dive into. And it's been a lot of work, and it's been hard work, but it's worth it. Because those are the things that are holding me back from my dreams. And so you have to be willing to move through those things. You have to be willing to look at the dark spots inside of you and clear them out in order to be able to grow beyond what you can even imagine right now. And that's the inner work. And that's why I include mindset work inside the client attractor. Because it's so important. We get started in the client attractor. Now, I have other programs where we go deeper into that inner work, and I'm going to share those here in a second. But there is what you need in that starting space is inside the client attractor. There's enough there to get you going on that inner work. It's a lot to try and do major inner work and major strategy work in the beginning of your business. So we just want to dip our toe into that at the beginning stages and focus a little bit more on the strategies. But I want you to get started in that space because there is that is coming. You are going to have to go there. You are going to have to go there at some point. And everybody's journey in that space is different. So know that it's not going to be the same journey for everyone, but it's going to be a journey for sure. So I hope that helps you really see what is, and there's obviously more things, but this is a general sort of 5 or 6 things that if you can say yes to everything that I've just shared with you right now, you're more than ready to start your online business. Like I said, if you can just say yes to the first one and the other ones maybe feel a little bit scary, but you're kind of like, well, I think I can get through that one, then you're definitely more than ready. You're definitely more than ready. But these are things that I had to learn as I went. Nobody prepared me for changing or prepared me for losing friends or prepared me for the obstacles and how those were going to be lessons. I had to go through those things myself. And not that that's a bad thing, but a heads up would have been nice. So that's why I wanted to share this inside this masterclass today, because if you've been on the fence and after hearing this, you're still fired up and you still want to move and you still want to make this happen, it's go time. Like, let's get this going. Let's do this. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you a few of the different things that I have available for you to help you get started, to help you start the business and start moving into the things that you want to create, the dream business that you have in your mind. So let's dig into that right now. So the first thing is, and I've chatted about this a little bit already, is the Client Attractor. Now, the Client Attractor is a 12-week program with me where I teach you how to get clear on who your ideal clients are, your program, even who you are as an online coach, help you build your brand in the first part of that program. The second part is where we really focus on getting visible. So in this 3-phase system, we get clear, we get visible, and we really talk about what platforms you should be on. For most coaches, it's Instagram. So this is an Instagram, heavy sort of coaching side of things. We really go deep into the Instagram thing, but everything I talk about in the visibility part could work on Facebook. It could work even on LinkedIn for that matter. But we really just talk about how you get in front of people, how to create an audience of people who want to hear what you have to say. So we talk about all of that in the Get Visible section of the Client Attractor. And then the third phase of this program is the messaging phase. So this is where we create demand, and we create demand through creating content and creating content and messaging through social media that helps you connect you to the people who need what you have to offer. And so we do that through learning how to craft different messages that really speak to the pain points and to the problems that people have. And we talk about, how to use platforms in different ways, how to really just get in front of the right people with the right message so that you can attract people into your services. So things like calls to action, how to sell in the DMs, doing sales calls, all of that stuff happens in the create demand section. So it's a really, when I say it's a really simple program, the reason I say simple, it's very dense with information as far as what you need in order to get your business going, but it's not overwhelming. So it's got what you need to get your business up and running and to attract those first few clients without fire hosing you with every single thing that you could possibly learn about your business. Trust me, there's a lot more you can learn about being an entrepreneur and running a business outside of what I teach in the Client Attractor. But the main elements of what's required for you to get up and running is inside that program. And I did that specifically so that you didn't get overwhelmed. That was probably the biggest feedback the first session we ran with the Client Attractor, is that the clients inside that program felt like they were supported and they weren't overwhelmed, and they could walk through each section step by step. And that's what allowed them to keep going and taking actions, because they didn't feel that fear and that doubt and that overwhelmment in building their programs. So that's the Client Attractor. We're together for 12 weeks. So the facts here, you're 12 weeks inside the program. You have lifetime access to the modules, but then you have 12 weeks of group calls with me. So that's where you come to the table with any questions you have, any questions that are, questions about the program information specifically, or any questions that you have about your business, really. There's no questions that aren't allowed. You can ask me anything about building your business, about mindset, about personal development, about any of those things on those calls. Those calls are for you to help you continue to keep moving. So it's 12 weeks. You get lifetime access to the modules. Now, if you don't sign your first paying client in the 90 days that we are together, you get an additional 30 days of calls with me for free. So you'll get an extra 4 weeks of calls to help continue helping you get what you need in order to be able to find that find that first paying client. So the Client Attractor right now is open for enrollment. You guys, this program is $2,222, and it's probably going to be the best investment that you make to get your business started, because once you learn what you're going to learn inside the Client Attractor, you're going to learn how to create your first program. You're going to learn how to get yourself out there online. You're going to learn how to find your first client. And when we create programs, we're not creating $197 programs here. We're creating $2,000 programs, $3,000 programs. We're creating high ticket programs. We're really helping you establish a solid foundation for your business with a solid program that helps you make money. It's easier to sell three $2,000 spaces in a program than it is to sell $20 programs or $30 programs. Trust me on that one. So that is the Client Attractor. There's, of course, a payment plan on that as well. You can go to my website if you want to check that out, shanarecker.com. I'll post the links inside the show notes for this as well. And you can always message me on Instagram at shanarecker. If you go to the link in my bio, all of these things are in my bio as well. And you can also DM me about anything that I share on this podcast. The second thing that I have coming up now, depending on when you listen to this, so the Client Attractor is available all the time. So the price may change. So you definitely don't want to delay on that. If that's something you want, get in touch with me or get enrolled as soon as possible, because I do raise the prices on these things over time, because I add to them and they develop and change and shift. So definitely get on that. So the next thing I have coming up, it's October 27th. So depending on when you are listening to this, I do run this multiple times in the year. So you can always DM me on Instagram and ask me about identity if it's past the 27th of October. But on October 27th, we start identity. And this is a workshop that I run that teaches entrepreneurs how to build their own personal branding. So this is a graphic design workshop. So I teach you how to use tools like Canva to create your own branding, your own professional looking branding. So there's no guesswork here. I go through what should be in a logo, what should be on a website, what shouldn't be on a website, how to build your brand colors, how to use the software, how to do everything that you would need to do as an entrepreneur inside a program like Canva and make it look professional. There's nothing more that can hurt your business. Well, there are other things that can hurt your business, but when you have bad design, it really does impact the impression that your business has on other people. So having good professional design, and it doesn't, yes, working with a professional graphic designer is always a great way to go. If you have the funds and you can invest in someone to do this for you, by all means, do that. If you don't, what you learn inside this program will be enough to help you create a professional looking brand that will carry you a lot farther than if you don't know these things. This program is 4 classes and then 2 hot seat classes where I actually critique your design work, and I'll give you suggestions on how to fix it or how to adjust it or change it. So it's very powerful. It's very potent. It happens over 3 weeks time. We start on October 27th. Depending on when you are listening to this, it's on pre-sale right now for $555. The price is going up to $1,111 on the 15th of October. So if you're hearing this and it's not the 15th yet, then and you want in, you have to message me on Instagram, the word identity, and I will send you the link. I'll put the link in the show notes as well. But depending on when the date is, when you click that link, it might be $555 or it might be $1,111. So act fast if you want into that and you want the pricing, the pre-sale pricing. Now, the third thing that I have going on, and this is for a more experienced level entrepreneur. So if you've been attracted to this podcast, you're most likely at the beginning stages. You're most likely maybe even haven't started your business yet. So this may be a little advanced for you, but I'm going to talk about it anyways, because it's something that I have coming up and I think it's really powerful, and maybe you are more experienced and this is something that you would desire. So I have a mentorship coming up, a 30-day mastermind mentorship program coming up called Expand. Now, Expand is for the established entrepreneur who is looking to move to their next level and beyond. It is a complete mindset, emotional intelligence. We're going to be talking about money versus wealth, and we're going to be talking about how to shift the way that you are as an entrepreneur to bring in the next level goals that you probably haven't even really thought about yet. Like, I'm going to help you expand your thinking about what's possible. I'm going to help you expand your leadership. We're going to expand your money mindset. There's a lot of work we're going to do, deep work we're going to do inside of this mastermind. It's a 30-day mastermind. There's 5 lessons so far, but I may add some more. Plus, over the 30 days, we will have Voxer coaching. So you'll have access to me over those 30 days to ask questions and get coaching from me outside of the actual training sessions. So I'm really excited about this. This is a next level program. It's currently $1,500 to get in for the 30 days. We start on October 20th. So depending again on when you're listening to this, if you are listening to this going, I need this, this is where my next level lives, I want to expand all of those things, you need to DM me on Instagram the word expand, and I will get you the information to get added to that mastermind. So that's what's going on in my world right now. The only other thing I can think of to share with you guys on the client attractor side is that if the client attractor, if that sounds like it's for you, but maybe the price point is just a little out of reach for you right now, I do also have the Client Attractor Lite, which is the program only, and it doesn't contain the 12 weeks of group coaching. So it's just the modules. That is for you, available for you as well. That is also on my website. You can check it out, or you can also DM me about that, and I'm happy to send you the link for that. And it's under $500. So it's an easy yes program for those who maybe don't have the budget yet to invest in the actual coaching, but they want to get the information they need to get started. There's also that. So that's it for me. There you have it. That's everything that's going on in my world. Oh my gosh, there's so many fun things happening. I'm super excited. Lots of good stuff coming. And I'm just thrilled to be here and supporting the new coaches, the established coaches, and really help raise the bar on what we're doing here in the coaching industry. So that's it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this masterclass. Please share this on your Instagram stories if you feel that this was helpful. Maybe somebody you know needs this information too. And don't forget to tag me. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.